I've talked to a couple of people about this recently, but there needs to be this shift in the shift in the idea that everything that you're getting that is free software is actually free. A lot of people have really I I don't want to place the blame entirely on this. People are aware of the difference and just ignore it, but I think part of that does lie on the fact that we use this term free. And I do see people that conflate the two. You're always going to have these. I don't know if you would use the term. Maybe you wouldn't want to be as inflammatory as this, but you are going to have these users that do feel like they're entitled to a developer's time, entitled to their software working in a certain way. And I don't know if there's really a way to ultimately deal with that. I do think that there is some onus on these software developers to better put forth a way to fund projects, because a lot of projects are really bad at soliciting funds. Thunderbird is a great example of one that did it really well. When Thunderbird unveiled the new UI, they have this pop-up show up like, hey, if you like what Thunderbird is doing, give us money. And from my understanding, they 10x their funding when they did that. Which is, they were already, like, Thunderbird was already very well off, don't get me wrong. But, like, they have a lot of extra money now. And a lot of people see this. I didn't hear anyone complain about this, but a lot of people I know will see this as some form of, like, you know, I don't want pop-ups, I don't want advertising on Linux desktop, but I think there is a middle ground here, and I think what Thunderbird did is probably a great point for it. And I would like to see desktops like GNOME. I would like to see projects like OBS. I would like to see, you know, all of these things make it clearer that there is a way to fund these projects, because most people aren't going to go to your project's website and find the donation link, or that's a giant hassle. And even with things like getting involved with development, a lot of projects, and I know this is a lot of work to do, but a lot of projects don't really provide a easy way to get involved with them. It sort of expects that you are already an established developer in this project before you've even started. And I know that doing beginner issues is a lot of extra overhead for the maintainers, and I don't know if there's a better way to do it, but that's also something that I feel needs to be improved upon as well.
Yeah, talking about money in the Linux community is always a tricky thing to do, right? Personally, I've considered, like, I never put them really in practice, but I considered doing things like, if you want me to fix a particular bug, I can put a contract or like a little box for people to pay with their wallets for whatever they want to be fixed. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're just hoping that I do my best to fix it. And when it comes to not being paid, I'm gonna follow what makes me happy more than what makes whatever internet random person happy, you know. It is always difficult. It is on that subject, you know. I think FlatHub is cooking up to have paid apps, and I hope that helps. You probably cannot see that, but I have an Elgato light here, a key light. And I wrote a little app to I reverse engineered the network protocol that he used, and wrote a little app called Luminen that I haven't published yet, but it works. You can
Okay.
control these lights. You can connect them to network. And I was thinking like when FahHub publishes what enables the payment thing, I might want to try this.
Mhm.
I have asked Elgato for development samples so I could make their software work for them
Mhm.
on the Linux desktop, but they haven't they haven't sent me anything. Fortunately, people like we did a mini fundraising and we got a people paid for this light, so they paid for the light. I got the app done. You can build it yourself. It's free software, of course. I'm not every single line of code that I have done in my entire life is free software. Either I lost it or I published it in a GitLab somewhere. There's no middle ground. But if you want to have the convenience of installing it from an app store, you can, give me $1 for that
Don't
or
feel too
something like
bad
that.
about not getting developer samples. When I talked to the developer of OpenRGB, a well-established project that a lot of people know about in the Linux space, even he struggles to get like developer samples of anything. Like all the hardware that he's gotten working in OpenRGB is hardware that either someone has contributed support for or he has directly bought himself. The one thing that he did get a developer sample for was something he had already bought. So he got given another one after he already got one.